Hello, how are you today? Welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you how I finish a piece, how I create a horrible mold, how I create a horrible resin cast, and how I horrible paint everything because I needed to finish it in one day, all of that to give it to my niece. That was her birthday next day. So I'm gonna show you all the process. It doesn't sound really fun because everything was horrible, but maybe you can learn something of my mistakes. Before I start the video, I want to share a little bit of story of this piece. And basically, when my niece was around 2 years old, she asked me for this piece. And I was starting to create some stuff in polymer clay. I did a stop motion animation, and that's how I learned about polymer clay. And I was doing these charms to give for gifts. And I didn't know how to create something that big, a big piece, you know, and more this character. But I spent a year kind of researching, kind of trying to see what I can do because I really wanted to do it for my niece. But I thought that she was gonna completely forget. I mean, how can she remember? She was 2 years old. So when she was around 3 years and a half, she asked me, "Where's my sculpture? No, I want my sculpture." And I actually did it, and I showed it to her, and she was kind of disappointed. She told me, "What happened to the arms? What happened to the legs? Do bad guys did something to him? Did they rip off the arm? I don't know. I don't remember the story that she told me." And I was no, this is the type of sculpture I want to do. I just need to paint it, and you can have it. And she said no. She wanted the whole full body. I mean, we agreed at the end that I was only gonna do the arm, and that's it. She told me, just take your time, create the arms, and when it's ready, just give it to me. So life happens. Some years pass. I didn't even create many sculptures. Most of the sculptures are in this channel that I created. So I didn't have that many experience, even if already had been 3 years and a half since I did this. And this is something also, if you ever think about creating a piece and you were thinking about just working a little bit and leave it for years and then come back, this is the proof that you can do that. So, but right now with this pandemic, she's her birthday on April. She's turning 7 because she cannot invite friends and everything. I was making sure that she will have a really great birthday, and I wanted to give her this piece. It was a long process, a long journey for this piece. I moved houses through the years, and well, it kind of survived. There's a lot of things happening when you have polymer clay for so many years. So, but let's start with showing you how I finished this piece. I just use a base, I use a hanger, wires, nails, whatever I can find to create my armature. I put aluminum foil and I start building up. The reality that I should print like a lot of people do, print like the sculpture, the size, and create the armature exactly with the proportions, with the perfect size. But to be real, this is not that kind of a channel. The reality is that I should do that, and I hope to have the time to do it. Until then, I'm just gonna go and keep working and try to create pieces this way. Just how it turned out, that's the way I'm just gonna do it. So basically, one of the things that I want to talk about is when you're working, when you have a piece of polymer clay that is this old, because it's not baked, it will become hard, it will break, it will crack. So there's many ways to fix it. You can squish them back together to be soft, but it's a long process and I don't have the time. So basically the only thing that I did, I just removed those parts and I put new polymer clay. I didn't have enough. Usually I use 50% of original Sculpey, that is the pink one, and Sculpey Firm, that is the gray one, and I mix them together. If you ever need to have a specific tool for polymer clay, I suggest before anything, get a pasta machine. You're gonna use it a lot and it's gonna be really useful. More if you want to solve your clay. So basically that's what I did, but there's many techniques to recover that polymer clay. So another thing is that my niece wanted to help. She always has been like, oh, I wanna be there, I wanna be part of it. And she makes so many holes, crack lines, poking in the eyes of the sculpture. But just seeing how her mind was working for being creative was just amazing. So I always let her, but it's time to fix all that. So I need to review all the cracks, all the lines, and basically the only thing I'm gonna do is I make some polymer clay. I'm just gonna go around and put the small pieces and try to fix it slowly and I know it's gonna turn out good. Not just I've done this on other couple pieces, never this old. And now for the arms, I decided to put some armature, some wires. I wasn't sure how to do it. I saw so many people online doing like really every single muscle. So I tried to do that, and it was a good experience. I mean, learning about anatomy, if you're sculpting or drawing, is something that you have to learn. You have to. Then since my niece asked me to create this piece, I wanted to do all the weapons. I wanted to create better pose, but I wanted to do something like kid friendly. So I decided just to go with something really simple. While I was working, I noticed that the mask, one of the small parts were breaking apart. So I decided just to fix just a small part, but it was so easy just to take the whole thing out that at the end I decided just to take it and create a new one. Pasta machine really quickly allowed me to recreate this mask. I really like how the arms was turning out because it actually got, you can see the muscles, you can see something that before when I tried the first time, long time ago, it was horrible. Keep working, keep giving shape to the muscles. I really learn a lot in doing this. I don't have more of the firm sculpting, so I'm just gonna use the original. And it was hard to pose with the wires because I didn't really need wires on the arms. I just decided to rip them off, take the wire out, and just start creating it with the clay on top. This allowed me to really being able to do a quick pose, and it was easy. It wasn't that perfect like creating every muscle, but because the arm was kind of done, it was easy just to put it back. In this occasion, I'm gonna put some glue just because I know that's gonna be the final piece. I just want to make sure that the old clay, the new clay, everything fuses together really well. I'm just gonna do it that way and just keep working on the piece, on the arms. Creating the hands are not that complicated, but I decided to not to have them. I was kind of cheating. It's getting really late. But I'm kind of liking how it's turning out, and I just want to do some details. No, I don't remember at what time I started the piece, but right now I start already to be nighttime. I just want to keep going. So I try to work as fast as I can, but trying to learn while I'm doing this piece. And it's not the most complicated piece, but for me and for my experience, it took me a while, and I really wanted to try to create the muscles. So, and to learn, to remember. So that was really fun to do and to work on it. And basically also what I'm just gonna do is gonna be some details. Like I said, your pasta machine is one of the best things. I'm not really sure which kind of details I'm gonna put, but I'm just gonna cut some pieces, thinking, okay, I'm gonna do like a belt, like a tool, like a weapon or something, and I'm gonna use these polymer clay pieces. I'm not really sure if it's gonna turn out. I'm not measuring anything. I'm just cutting just to have it ready. Also, one of my things is putting the camera so close to the piece while I'm sculpting. Create some issues. Sometimes I have to reach really far. I'm trying to learn how to do that better. If you see a K on the belt, yes, it's none of the 4 names that you know of these characters, but it's because the K is my middle name, has a K, and also is the first name of my niece. So that's why I decided to put a K on the belt. And I just go slowly with the tools to create some lines, to create some shapes, to try to build the details that I want. If I would have had some maybe reference, could have done a better job. creating maybe more pockets or more things. I just wanted to feel a little bit more complete than what it was, even if it was just adding the arms. So of course you cannot be a Ninja Turtle without this kind of a belt to put his weapons. Like I said, I wanted to do a sword, she wanted to do a sword, she wanted to do also to do the ball for the Donatello, but I was running out of time. Time to do the mix. I love the Rebound 25. It comes with 2 bottles. You make 1 equal part. So I don't even measure anything. I just put it in a cup, and I can see through the cups they have the same quantity, so I can do the mix really easy. I really love this Rebound 25 because it cures pretty fast. Well, around like 30 minutes. The best thing to do is to brush on 1 more piece. Basically you can do 2 when you have more details, or maybe in this piece that is big, probably that would have been better. But brushing in this mix will allow you to get into the details. It will allow you to avoid bubbles. There's a lot of places where they have this fancy degas machine that take all the air and you don't have bubbles on your mix, but I don't have that, so I'm just gonna brush on, and it really helps a lot. So just do a really thin layer. I'm kind of doing a little bit thicker than what I like, and I'm putting just all the rest of the mix that I have. I didn't have much, which I knew that was going to be a problem because there's so many parts where you can actually almost see the piece, see through the silicone, so that's gonna affect the thickness and it's gonna rip, it's gonna make holes, and it's gonna be a bad mold. That's why it's a horrible mold. So I run out of this silicone mix, but I remember that I bought another kit just to try it on for another mold that I was gonna do. This is more used for 2 pieces because it takes 6 hours to dry and everything, so that was a pain. I was trying just to be slow. I didn't even realize it takes so long when I got it. I didn't even remember. Maybe I knew, but I didn't remember then. So I started doing it and I was, why is this not drying? So this was horrible to use. I'm gonna put it on the screen. But basically, I mean, it helps. It is good when you use 2 mold pieces, but you have to have the time to let it dry. So over here, I was kind of getting frustrated. And I put around a wall, which that's something that you do when you're creating 2 molds. This one, I just took my polymer clay. I was kind of surprised that it didn't spill or make more than a mess, and actually was retaining the liquid. So I was able to just pour the liquid and wait. At one point I had to mix another one. I didn't mix it right, I think, and kind of the color was purple. I had to lay it in one side because one part was so thin, and another one actually had a hole. I had to wait more and more, but I was tired to wait, so I couldn't anymore. So you can see the marks are from the polymer clay. I know the mold is not perfect, already like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I need to cast it and to paint it. One of the problems when you cast a piece, like in this example, you have to have a shell. You have to have something solid that covers the mold, because the mold is all wobbly, it moves a lot. So if you have this hard shell around the mold, you can make sure that the mold doesn't move and you have a perfect replica of your piece. I didn't have anything. Usually you can use plaster, and I had my brother that had some. Actually, I told him after I did this piece, and he told me, you should have come, but it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want to do that. And I was just thinking, what else can I do? What else can I do? Well, I had a glue gun, and I was thinking, well, the glue gun maybe can work. I don't know if I had enough. So I started putting it around. I used what is kind of equal to 10 sticks. That's the only thing I had. I started putting it on top. I tried to make it a little bit thicker. I tried to make sure that this plastic was grabbing in the most important parts of the piece, that I wanted to make sure that like the head was completely stable, because that's where you can see all the features and everything. So I didn't care about the other parts. So usually when you're doing this shell, you do like 2 parts. but in this one I was just gonna create one. It's plastic, it moves, so I wasn't worried about taking it out and putting it back. It was gonna be really easy. I started doing it and just trying to make sure that it grabs, that it keeps certain shapes. So, and I was just hoping, praying basically, that I was gonna be able to create this shelf on the mold and that it was gonna work. And I was a little bit afraid because I didn't have enough. Everything is closed. Probably I would have been able to go to Walmart, but just wanted to keep going. I was tired, I didn't sleep, I was working on this all night. I was just trying to make sure I was able to do it. So I connected the parts from the neck to have more support, or that's what I was thinking. And I just keep working, trying to squeeze as much as I could of the gun and to be able to try to create the piece. And well, even if it is barely half of the piece, I was happy how it turned out. I was able to just take it off. And it was time to cut the mold. So cutting the mold, I had a really thick bottom, which I know that was going to be helpful to put everything together. But I did some zigzag so the mold could just by itself kind of be in the best position. I knew also because it's really thick, it's really hard to take that off. You have to push, you have to really slowly kind of detaching the mold from the piece. And it could be hard. I mean, I have pieces that they got damaged because doing just the demold. So I was trying not to do it. Cutting was really, there were some parts that were really thin. And I know that was gonna create a problem because I don't have like a good casing, a good shell around my piece. But I was able to just take it off. It got damaged a little bit, but it's no big deal. I can fix it. Hopefully the mold was gonna be a success. So I put it back together. I have the mold. Like I said, I have such a thick bottom that it's kind of staying even together really well. I'm gonna put just a rubber band just to make sure that I kind of attaches together. So now that I have it, I'm gonna take a t-shirt. I know it's gonna leak. I know like part of the back of the sculpture is so thin, the mold, that it's gonna leak and it's gonna be a mess. So I took an old t-shirt and I started mixing my Smooth On 300. That's what I use for casting. And basically something, and it's a good technique, that you mix just a little bit and just pour it. Mix another little batch and do that several times. When you do the first ones, of course, you have to rotate. This technique is really useful, mainly when you have sculptures that have faces and you have like a sheen or something. If you move the mold around, it will go into those spaces. If you don't do that, if you just pour it normally, you will have a hole on the back of the sheen and other places that will create bubbles, or that just the liquid is not gonna go in. So it's really important to do this technique of turning around the piece. Like you can see, I did small batches, so you don't have to worry about like you did a little bit and it dry and it gets solid. You can put another layer. And that's what I did over here, just layers and layers slowly. And one of the things, be really careful. Usually you have to wait until the mold is really cold. But I don't have the time, so I'm just gonna remove it really slowly. It's really easy to get off the piece, but just be careful because the piece is gonna be really hot. And just be careful slowly because you can also damage. I mean, it's a silicone that's really strong, and you have small pieces and certain places they can break. So that's why when it's that situation, you want to do 2 molds. But basically I just start doing this, and I was able to take it off kind of hard, but there you go. I have my original piece and I have my duplicate. So I was really happy because it contained all the details. Of course, you have so many small things that I need to fix. Sometimes people sand it, make sure that it's really smooth. I'm not gonna do that. And just remember, I love this material because it really takes all the details, so the good and the bad thing. And I need to fix my piece. No, we have so much of the resin that was leaking from one of the holes and everything. So I get my Dremel. This is really useful. Actually, I'm gonna get an extension that make it like a tiny pen that is really useful to to do details and even creates other details. But over here I'm just gonna use this simple one, and I'm just gonna cut and kind of try to smooth everything, and you'll be surprised how not only easy but how good it can turn out. And I was really happy because to tell you the truth, to fix something that bad, I never done this before, so I didn't knew how it was gonna turn out. The mold was moving in one of the sides, so it has a really deep kind of a hole that I really dislike. But I'm just gonna mix more of the resin and I'm gonna put on top to kind of hide it, and then with the Dremel I'm gonna fix that part. That's something really useful that you can do too. So just know that you can add resin more than once. So it's time to paint it. Basically, I prime everything on black and then I paint. And I only use 3 colors, 3 shades of green and brown. And my niece, I asked what kind of ninja she wanted, and she chose Donatello. She likes Leonardo, but she chose Donatello for this piece. And I'm really happy because that's my favorite too. He's smart, he creates things. So there you go. I painted purple, has a Donatello. I was trying also to use 3 shades of purple, and it's a day where I didn't know that I was missing so much material. If I would have known that I was missing so much, I probably, well, I'm glad I didn't wait. I'm glad I got it done. Yeah, I wish I would have had like a tiny brush where I could do a better job. But at the end, I like it. You can see this is the result of a long life of this sculpture. I know the mold's amazing, but my niece really love it. She right away said, "Oh, this looks real," which I know it doesn't, and it has so many problems. But I like it, no? So I really suggest, and I really invite you to create a piece for someone you love. To create something is just amazing to create something and give it to the person that you love. So do something for a loved one, and enjoy creating. And I hope this journey. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and please subscribe, help me in this journey of sculpting, and enjoy art and create yours too. So see you next time.